Hello guys, back again today for a video on the Panigale. Oh yeah, little cold start. Let's try to get her heated up. Alright, and we're off. Alright guys, so I just wanted to do a video. Holy, this dude is coming in hot. Oh my god. Wow. He must have some important mail to deliver. But get her warmed up. Try and get these tires a little warmed up. I don't have tire heaters, and it is chilly here in Pennsylvania, but I have my service scheduled, so I need to tack on some miles, and I wanted to bring you guys a video. So I don't care, I ride year round, I'm a beast, and we're on the Panigale. It's about 42 degrees, I believe. Feels like 38 is what my phone said. But let's go ahead and get on the topic. Are Ducatis worth the money? If you're buying a new Ducati, then neutral. If you're buying a new Ducati, then you got the higher MSRP, obviously. I mean, this bike is considered a 750. I feel like when I watch other YouTubers, they don't really know what to properly compare this to. No offense to anybody, because I watch tons of videos on this bike, and you know, other YouTubers are what made me want to get into YouTube. I just always loved watching videos on these bikes. But what I mean is, other YouTubers compare this to a lot of different things. They compare it to leader bikes, which, you know, doesn't really make sense. And then they'll compare it to 600s, which, you know, doesn't really make sense. And the reason those don't make sense is because this is kind of between. You know, this bike, if it was raced, if you took this bike and raced it in a class, it would be in the 750 class. Even though it's a 955cc, but it's a twin, so it'd be in the 750 inline 4 class. My point is, like, this isn't really something to compare to a 600, and it really isn't something to compare to a 1000, because it has a lot more power than most 600s, all 600s, I believe. I mean, even like the Triumph Daytona 675, Ninja 636, this cheater bikes, this thing's got some more power on them, and torque, a lot of torque. And on a 1000, if you compare this to a leader bike, it's a little bit down on power. So where does this bike fall? Well, it falls between them, you know. I wanted something quicker than a 600, kind of. I mean, the Ninja 636 was an option that I was thinking of, but, or the Triumph Daytona, but you know, I didn't quite want something that's like as fast as a leader bike, because this is my first true super sport, and I just felt like that would be way too much for me. And this was kind of perfect, and you know, this is a lot more manageable. One of the reasons that we'll get into that this bike, well, Ducatis in general, some of them cost so much compared to their competitors in some cases, is the technology. Like, this bike has a beautiful quick shifter, beautiful. The traction control, it's great. It has wheelie control, adjustable engine braking, which is freaking sick. I mean, that's something really sick. You know, you're talking about leader bike tech on more of a mid-tier bike. And I think Aprilia is coming out with a bike kind of similar to this, although down on power a little bit compared to this, but still a middleweight. But other than that, I mean, the closest thing I can think of that's currently out right now, brand new, believe it or not, is the Ninja 636, which is a sweet bike. And it's also very, very, very competitively priced. But it still lacks a lot of the refinement that this has, technology-wise. It does have an up quick shifter, but it doesn't have a down auto blipper. Ooh, like that. Look at that. Oh my god, perfect. No clutch. And yeah, I mean, Ducatis are a weird case because people, they're kind of like the Harleys of the sports bike world. I mean, I know that might offend some people who like Harleys or people who like Ducatis. Kind of going against both here, but it kind of is like the Harley of the sport bike world, because Harleys, I mean, come on guys. Alright, I like all bikes, but we're just going to keep it real. Harleys are overpriced. Alright, Harleys are grossly overpriced. And a lot of people think that Ducatis are similar, and Harleys have hardcore fanboys. Ducatis have hardcore fanboys. So what I'm going to tell you is today in this video is why that is incorrect, and why this bike is worth what it costs, and the V4 is worth what it costs. And it's not just about people being fanboys and loving Ducati, you know. Harley makes a good bike, all right. They're not my cup of tea necessarily, but point being, there's a reason why so many people love Harley. You know, it like if it was, I mean, I don't. It's complicated, all right. But long story short, if they were trash bikes, people wouldn't like them. Period. Whatever. All right, they're not. They're not trash. There's things about Harleys that people like that other bikes do not give them. And that is exactly how a Ducati is. This bike has characteristics that I can't get from any other bikes. You know? It's freaking gorgeous. Look at that display. Alright, this is a mid-tier bike. Look at that. Beautiful. And then you got the sound. Okay guys, the thing is, like, this bike gives me a feeling that no other bike has ever given me, alright? And if you ride a Ducati or you own a Ducati, you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. And maybe, I mean, the odds that you own a Harley and you're watching this are low, but maybe you own a Harley and it's the same way, I don't know. All I know is this bike makes me feel some feelings that I've never felt from a bike. This is my baby. Alright? But for real though, this thing makes me feel like a little child. Alright? I'm young. I'm 20 years old. Yeah? Not the most mature. This bike makes me feel like I'm 14. Woohoo! Oh my god, this bike makes me laugh every single time I hit the gas. I laugh every time without missing a beat. If I'm pegging the throttle on this puppy, I'm cracking up. Believe me, it just is that kind of bike. This thing, it'll make you smile. It is so nimble, yet it has so much power. It has so much power. This thing is a freaking beast. For real. Yee. Absolute beast of a bike. And it's evil and it's twisted. And it just, oh my, it pushes you for more. I just want more. I want to give this bike everything. I want to give it the juice. I'm sorry guys, this bike really does just pump me up. And that's why I'm making this video. To explain to you guys, if you're on the edge about buying a Ducati, or maybe you don't understand the culture, like why people love these bikes so much. It's because they make me feel some type of way. And this is only a V2. You know, if I was seated on a V4, I don't know, probably be dead or something. Because this bike just wants to go. It does. It really does. We're gonna go ahead and find a nice quaint little spot to do some recording. I've never actually been down this road, so I'm not really sure. Speed limit 25. Sorry, we're in Mexico. I'm just playing. I'll chill around here. There's a house right here. Oh my god. There's a big dog up on that porch. I wish you guys could have saw that. He was standing up on the table. Looked like a human. Wow, this is a nice little peaceful road. Ooh. Very gravelly. And my tires are cold. It's a recipe for disaster. Woo! It is. It's definitely a recipe for disaster. I probably should relax. Oh, where the hell am I, guys? I don't know. It's hanging left. You see this right here? I have no idea where I'm at. Now, what does that have to do with a Ducati being worth the price? If you guys don't ride, then, you know, I'll go ahead and explain this to you. And if you do ride, I'm hoping that you've experienced this, or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just an idiot. But when I first started riding, what I used to love was just to hop on some random roads and get lost. Just go adventure and get lost, you know? Yeah, baby. Yep. Which is what I'm doing now, but the thing is, like, on an R6 or another 600, I don't do this shit. Because they need to be so wound up to get power. And you really kind of want to know the roads. Hello, sir. You know, wow, that is a gorgeous house. That is a stunning house. But, a lot of people walking today. Yeah, like when you're on an R6 and whatnot, you kind of want to know the roads. Because you're about to be winding that puppy out. So you want to know what kind of turns you're up against. Wow, that is a pretty house too. But to me, this is just so much comfier. Man! Look at that house! What? Dude. Oh my god, I need to buy a house out here. I didn't know these were here. Wow. But, apparently I have ADHD, I guess. This bike to me is comfier than an R6. It's comfier than any 600 I've been on. I don't know why. I'm 5'6". Oh my god, come on! These houses are gonna kill me. Oh my god, I'm getting so distracted. Everybody talks about the heat, obviously. The heat. That's a nice little house. Oh yeah, you know, the Ducati is scalding hot. If you go near it, it'll give you third-degree burns. At least, that's what you'd probably believe. But believe it or not, guys, I think it's a little over-exaggerated. And the thing that's interesting about my point of view on the heat of this bike is, I love it. It's one of the things that I enjoy about this bike. Does it get toasty? Yes, it does get toasty. And you know what? If you live somewhere like I do, Pennsylvania, East Coast of the United States, Northeast, I should say, or, you know, maybe you're not even from the US, but if you live somewhere that gets cold or has a true winter, true seasons, there's a lot of advantages to having a warm bike when you live somewhere like this, because it gets cold. Very, like, today is 40 degrees, okay? And like on my 650, I would be shaking in my boots right now. I'm not wearing a ton of layers, but this Ducati is keeping my legs nice and toasty and holding them close. Look at that. Nice. I like that. But this Ducati, it's keeping my legs nice and toasty toast. You feel? Perfect. And it's extended. I mean, I can't say it's extended my riding season because I'm more of a year-round rider, but like it's extended the time that I comfortably would want to ride. My 2020 Ducati Panigale V2. Beautiful, isn't she? Very beautiful bike. Now, is this bike worth the price? Hell yes. Hell yes, it is worth the price, alright? You're paying, maybe $4,000 more dollars than you would for an R6, okay? And you've got like 30 more foot-pounds of torque. I don't know. 30, 40 more horsepower. You've got a single-sided swing arm. Okay, let's not even roll out the fact that this bike is gorgeous. Man, that single-sided swing arm is just such a beautiful setup, you know. And then you've got the display. So you got riding modes. And then you got race. Let's just go into race and show you. So you got your engine where you could adjust the power. Traction control. It's adjustable. ABS. Front only, front and back. Slide by brake. Okay. Wheelie control. Performance. Safety. Engine brake control. Maximum. Minimum. And your quick shifter, up and down, off. And then you could return to default, but you got that. You could customize your presets in race, sport, street. And you could have a riding mode for the rain. You could have a riding mode for the track. And you could have a riding mode for the street, which is sweet. And you also get this steering dampener, Showa BPF forks, Brembo brakes. Alright, so as far as the V2 goes, is it worth it? Let me think. Better brakes, better suspension, better handling, a lot more power, a lot more torque, way better technology, in my opinion, better looks, and you have a rare exotic bike compared to the sea of R6s, at least around here. Okay, and it's $4,000 more for the base MSRP. Is it worth it? I don't know. I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. I do. I think that's a no-brainer. But, you know, this isn't just a video about the V2. This is a video about Ducati in general. You know, whether it be a cruiser or the V4, alright? The V4 is sick. Alright, it is sick. I have personally not gotten to ride a V4, but I've talked to people that were in the V4, and they explain it as ludicrous, you know. The Panigale lineup, is it worth it? You got your maintenance, your oil changes cost more. You got your Desmo service, which is every 15,000 miles. Oil changes are 7,500. But you also have a warranty. My warranty is unlimited mileage, 2 years, which is insane. And I might bump that to 5 years. So by the time you factor in total cost of ownership, modern Ducatis, it's not way more than any other bike. So is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. But then you want to look at other bikes in Ducati's range, okay? The Super Sport. Beautiful bike, more of a touring bike. You could compare that to, say, a Ninja 1000, not the ZX10, but the actual Ninja 1000. They're pretty similar in price, but the Super Sport has better suspension and better brakes, everything again, you know, typical Ducati. And then you want to talk about cruisers. You go out and buy an air-cooled Harley for $25,000, $30,000, and it's slow. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, it's a Harley. But listen, you guys get yourself on an X Diavel. It's cheaper than a lot of the Harleys, okay? It's just as fast as this V2, which is hilarious. Freaking hilarious. I would kill to ride one of those, you know? I might buy one of those. But picture that. You get, like, all the pluses of a Harley, the comfort and everything, but you're on something as fast as this, which is insane. Like, who doesn't want more power? Come on. Like, you don't have to use it, but it's there. Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Ducatis are worth it, and they give you this feeling and this uniqueness and this exotic look that they have. Just the way it feels to ride them. Tell me what you think. Are Ducatis worth it? If you own a Ducati, tell me why in the comments below, and tell me why you think it's worth it. And if you own a Harley, tell me why you own it and you think it's worth it. And if you don't think that Ducatis are worth the price, go ahead and tell me why. I'd like to get some interesting comments and maybe start some conversations about this. But, you know, my opinion is I think that they're worth it. These bikes have a lot of character. Riding a very fast Super Sport with a twin motor is not the norm, actually. Typically, you get a high revving, screechy inline 4 on this style of bike. In fact, any modern Japanese bike you buy similar to this will have a screechy inline 4. But the rumble of this twin, and the down low torque, it's unmistakably Ducati. If you put me on this bike with my eyes closed, yeah, with my eyes closed, I'd probably wreck. But if you put me on this bike with my eyes closed in a wide open area, you know, like an airport runway, and you just let me go ahead and give her some beans, I could tell you it's a Ducati. I could. If you put me on an R6 or a CBR or a Gixxer, then it would be a little bit more challenging to distinguish which is which with your eyes closed. They do have slight differences in sound, but they're all pretty similar. This is nothing like them. This is nothing like them at all. Let's try. Oh my god, can we drag knee? Can we drag knee on the Ducati Panigale? I don't know. The tires are really cold, so we're probably not going to try. But this is something very special, very different. And you know what? What's it even matter? Number one, the bike is physically, technically worth the price. Because the specs and the power and everything is better in every single way than a Japanese bike. Which is crazy, because it wasn't always that way with Italian exotics. But now, I'm telling you, with these Ducatis, it is. You know, this bike makes sense now. It makes sense to buy a Ducati because it's better and it's not a ton more. Yeah! You might prefer the way a 600 feels, and that's not a bad thing. Then buy a Japanese 600, you know, that's fine. No bias, because I like Japanese bikes. This bike is better. It is better in every way. Woo! So, it is worth it. Technically. And, technically, it is worth it. But it's not just that, okay? It's about the feeling this bike gives you. What am I talking about? Well, I mean, I hate to say this. I do. I hate it so bad. But if you buy a BMW, or you buy a Mercedes, or you buy a Ferrari, then part of the reason that you're probably buying those is the brand name. Because a Corvette can be as fast as a Ferrari. But if you pull up somewhere in a Corvette, you're not going to get that attention that you do on a Ferrari. And not only the attention, okay, because that's really kind of shallow sounding, but the feeling you get driving a Corvette. Yes, it's a great car. It is super fun. It is super fast. Yes. But when you drive a Ferrari, you are in a Ferrari. You just know, like, damn, like, I'm in a Ferrari. This is sick. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, okay? Part of the reason Ducatis can be expensive is the brand name. Is that a bad thing? No, it's a freaking great thing. Because I feel amazing riding on this bike. It's a beautiful bike, and, you know, a lot of people know, like, they see it and they just realize, oh, Ducatis are sick, Ducatis are exotic. Yes, it is. It's a great bike. And it's a good feeling, just ride. Like, it's that feeling you get if you're driving a Lamborghini or you're driving a Ferrari. That's what it feels like to ride a Ducati. And you can go ahead and buy a Gixxer 750, skimp out on the tech and save yourself some money, and there's nothing wrong with that, because the Gixxer 750 is a sweet bike. But you're gonna feel like you're on a Corvette in bike form. Or, like, I don't know. Listen, you understand. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. It just, there's a feeling you get riding a Ducati. Number one, because it's a Ducati. Number two, the character of a twin engine like this versus something like an inline 4, which is what everything else is. And number three, you've got great technology. And you have a fast bike. Now, specifically, obviously, you're thinking I just listed those things for this bike I'm on, the V2. But, you know, not really. You could apply this to most Ducati bikes. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I cannot speak on the Scrambler. And I cannot speak on the Multistrada, or, you know, however it's pronounced, because I don't know much about this. But you know what, though? What I do know about is the X-Diavel, the Diavel, the Super Sport and Super Sport S, Panigale 959, some of the older bikes like the 1098, but there's a couple slight differences between, you know, these really modern Ducatis are very reliable compared to what they were, and they're better than Japanese bikes. Let you guys in on a secret, and you might be pissed at that and say I'm wrong, and I don't care, because I ride Japanese bikes and I love Japanese bikes. So whatever, tell me I'm wrong, but I ride Japanese bikes, and I ride the Ducati, and the Ducati is better. Like, that's my secret. The Ducati is better. It is. This thing is way better than the R6. Now, that's obviously very opinionated, and you might disagree, and that's cool. Totally cool. My brother actually prefers the R6, which, you know, I'll have to get a video with him, and he'll explain why. But that's not a bad thing. If you're someone that loves Japanese bikes and you say, oh, Ducatis are too hot, Ducatis are too expensive, Ducatis are unreliable, blah blah blah, and you've never even owned a Ducati, or you don't know people that own Ducatis, I mean, especially modern Ducatis. I'm speaking mainly for modern Ducatis because they've came a long way. But if you're somebody like that, then you're wrong, because you don't know, right? Like, if I didn't have an R6, like, yes, the R6 is sick, it's a great bike. The Ninja 650, albeit a lot different of a class than this, it's an amazing bike, and I freaking love it. So yeah, you know, I think I'm qualified to talk about this. But if you're somebody that's just hating on Ducati, which is what it seems like a lot of people are, I don't get it. I understand it, because I do throw hate at Harleys sometimes. But the thing is, I feel like my points are justified, because I feel like modern Harleys truly are overpriced for what you get. But tell me how. Tell me how a Ducati is overpriced when the technology is better, it has more power, it has a better power band, it handles better, it has better brakes. Tell me how. Tell me how it's overpriced. That's insane. It's insanity. So, like, a bike like a Harley, I think, is overpriced because it's slower, it has less power, it handles worse, it has less technology than its competitors and costs more. That's different. That's not the same as this, because this bike is better. It's better. Call me a fanboy. Whew. Maybe I am a fanboy now that I listen to myself talk. But I don't know. It's a sweet bike. R6, sick bike. Gixxer 600, Gixxer 750, R1, whatever, dude. 2 wheels. I love it. So, you know, I just wanted to go over, are Ducatis worth it? Are specifically modern Ducatis? And the answer to me is yeah, they are. And I gave you my points why. And if you disagree, you might have some points that prove me wrong, and I'm open to discussion. But at the end of the day, I love motorcycles. I love 2 wheels. I wave to scooters. I wave to Harleys. Whatever. I will most likely be buying a bagger this summer. I own a dual sport, so I don't care. I mean, I don't mean this in a rude way, but I don't really care, like, what people's opinions are necessarily on my bikes or which bikes are better. So if you think Japanese bikes are better, then power to you. Just let me know why, because I'm actually genuinely curious. And you know, you might be right. Maybe I'm wrong. But then again, it's just opinions. So I guess nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It is what it is. In my opinion, Ducatis are worth the price. Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to check out another one of my videos. And like I said, if you have an opinion on if you think Ducatis are worth it, then leave your comment below, and I respond to all my comments so we can have a conversation. I'd like to thank you guys again for 100 subscribers, and now the goal is 1,000, so if we can hit that, I'll be pretty happy. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe for more. Thank you guys.